Bismillah. An issue that I have spoken about many times in whether in public conversation or in private conversation is regarding a fallacy that exists, in my opinion, in the Guenonian, Evolian, Neo-Traditionalist metaphysics of time. And this fallacy revolves around looking at the trajectory of history as being a fall. Now, the traditionalists of all hues, whether we're talking about Guénon or some of his other acolytes, including Frithjof Schuon, whatnot, all subscribe to this point of view that basically emerges from Guénon's reading of the system of the greater cycles of time in Hindu metaphysics, the Manvantara. But in my readings of the works of the Neo-Traditionalists, I find that their attempt to kind of juxtapose this Hindu notion of the greater cycle of times with the Abrahamic notion of time itself posits not so much a paradox, but an outright contradiction. And these two worldviews of the cycles of time between the Abrahamic tradition and that of the Indo-Aryan perspective that Mr. Guénon is interpreting, especially in the first couple of chapters of his Reign of Quantity and the Sign of the Times, posits that the further that we move from a so-called golden age, the more history fragments, that the human experience fragments, and he kind of tries to justify that as from a quasi Neoplatonic angle that Plotinus posits in his Aeneads, meaning tolma, a fall. But if you read Plotinus, and not just Plotinus himself, if you read the Islamic Neoplatonists, their notion of time is not exactly the same way that Guénon is interpreting it. Guénon is taking this context of the Manvantara, the greater cycle of times, and basically making it the basic narrative by which he's then reading Abrahamic metaphysics. Now, when we talk about figures such as Ibn Arabi or even some of his acolytes and followers in the later tradition of Islamic philosophy such as Mullah Sadra, and more importantly Sheikh Ahmed Ahsai, and then in the Bayani perspective of Azali Babism, time does not necessarily unfold in the way that the system of the Manvantaras hold. If we take a Heideggerian concept, Heidegger's concept of being is being to death. Whereas all of these metaphysics have a concept of being beyond death. But if we take that and basically graft this concept of being too, then where time is concerned, the Abrahamic Neoplatonic physics, whether we're talking about the systems of Mullah Sadra, Ibn Arabi, or Sohrawardi, etc., do not look upon the trajectory of time as a negative. And, particularly from its Shiite or even Sufi angle, where there are hadith that are continually cited in several versions, one of which is, do not inveigh against time, for verily time it is God. So the notion of time in the philosophical and metaphysical tradition of Islamic philosophy, and I suspect this is also to some degree the case also in Christian Neoplatonism, as well as to some degree the Neoplatonism of Judaism, including the Kabbalah, other than the Lurianic system, I might add, is that time in itself is not a negative. So we don't have a concept of fall or tolma in the Neoplatonic context that you find elsewhere. So given this, taking and attempting to graft the concept of the Manvantaras and the manner in which it was interpreted in Hinduism, in the various schools of Hinduism, is a actual fallacy when juxtaposed with the Abrahamic, because time is not a negative. In fact, in the Abrahamic traditions, and especially when we get into the question of the Messianic era, time is actually moving towards a progressive culmination of something. So time is actually progressing. So whereas maybe on the level of civilization, at least in very circumscribed context, we could say that progress in the way that the Neo-Traditionalists are talking about may occur in certain instances as not being a salutary thing, although I beg to differ. What the neo-traditionalists are committing as a fallacy is taking a fragment of time and then reading the entire trajectory of history from it. So if we say that the modern world, the secular world, has created a disenchantment in the universe of humanity that did not exist in pre-modern or traditional societies, this does not by itself make the argument that time itself is a fall, that that we are moving away from a golden age. Perhaps we are moving towards a golden age, right? And even within the concept of the Manvantaras of Hinduism, that is also positive because time moves in cycles, and as it is moving in cycles, it is progressively moving towards its own culmination, right? And this is a progress of time rather than a involution of time. Involution, surely, of course, we can grant the argument that involution occurs on the level of the emanations of the one towards creation, but time in itself is not a tolma, it is not a fall. And I don't believe that Plotinus, if one reads the Aeneas, that Plotinus is suggesting this himself, particularly given the fact that as a Platonist, Plotinus very firmly believed in time as being the moving image of eternity, right? So the tolma, the fall, is on the level of the emanations of the one within the world of material manifestation. But time itself is not, is both part of this process and not part of this process. But it stands above the actual, manifestations that occur in time itself. Time moves eternally, right? So the neo-traditionalists need to explain their concept and especially their nostalgia for the past through another prism, because as it stands in the way that they're positing this concept of time as being a fall from a golden point, from a point of perfection, does not explain the eternal presence, which, as Plato suggests, and as also that hadith that I just quoted suggests, in itself is not a fall. Time, in essence, is a projection, or is a theophany, or is an emanation, or a manifestation of the divine itself at every point of his trajectory, right? So the nostalgia that neo-traditionalists hold for the past, as such, is a contradiction. Now, from the point of view of Islamic metaphysics of the Ibn Arabi or the Sheikh Ahmed Ahsai, Mullah Sadra, and the Bab, right? Whereas the Godhead's notion of time, or the Godhead's occurrence in time, posits two basic forms of eternity. There is the Azaliya, the pre-eternal, or the pre-eternity, and then there is the Abadiya, the post-eternality, right? So the Azaliya, the post-eternal, is continually moving in the trajectory of the towards the post-eternal. So the Alpha exists for the sake of the Omega. So there is, in essence, within the metaphysics of an Ibn Arabi or a Mullah Sadr or Sheikh Ahmed Ahsai, a concession that time as such in its movement is progressive, right? Now, the manifestations of times, the physical and material manifestations in time can occur within any kind of phenomena, be they good or bad. And this holds true for any periodization of time that we're speaking about. But in itself, time is neutral, while simultaneously being progressive, right? When we get into the metaphysics of the Bayan, which is the culmination of the Sheikhi system of Sheikh Ahmed Ahsai, the Bab actually overthrows any suggestions that the movement of time can by itself be a negative or a fall, because time is continually moving in its perfections of theophanies. So there are continual unfoldments of theophanic perfections within the world of spatiotemporality, right? This is the concept of progressive revelation that the Bab posits very strongly throughout its entire corpus, especially in his later writings, beginning with the Bayan and the Book of the Five Grades. So to inveigh against time, in essence, in the way that the neo-traditionalists are doing, is a form of kufr. It is a form of infidelity, and ingratitude towards the All High, particularly given that on the level of epiphenomena, the progression of time is continually moving towards its physical and material perfection. So the metaphysics of time within the Bayan is a progressive metaphysics of time and not a regressive metaphysics of time. And I have yet to find a single neo-traditionalist who can adequately answer this contradiction within the writings of their chief figures, Guénon, etc. And particularly from this perspective that I just posited, that God is both pre-eternal and post-eternal. Pre-eternal from the point of view that looks to the in illo tempore past, and post-eternal abadia, in which it looks upon time as moving towards a continual cycle of progress. So this is something that the neo-traditionalists need to take aboard, and something that I will eventually write about, because it basically then pulls the carpet from under their nostalgia for systems of monarchy and authoritarian forms of governance of human beings. Because this is what the neo-traditionalist concept of time, and in my opinion, its fallacious reading of Islamic metaphysics and Neoplatonism generally, has lent itself to, is that if you are looking at the past with nostalgia, then it is that much easier to justify authoritarian forms of governance, whether it be monarchy or whatever else. So therefore, when time is progress, right, an instantiation of time in a fragment of time in itself is not the culmination of time. It is moving in a dialectical trajectory, in the poles of thesis and antithesis towards various syntheses occurring in time, right? I would love the opportunity to have this conversation with any neo-traditionalists out there, whether it would be my friend Charles Upton or even some of these Evolians and Duganists, who are quoting the writings of Guénon and Dugan and Evola like scripture, because this is a very important salient point, which I believe very strongly has confused a lot of these people about metaphysics in general. I am not a rejecter of metaphysics. I am a deep advocate of metaphysics. Anyone who has read my writings knows that I write in this modality from time to time. Recently, I uploaded my ongoing work called The Effulgences of Wisdom, which is my response to Ibn Arabi's Fusus al-Hikam. I uploaded the first chapter of this, the English translation, which is on Eve. So I am not a disser of metaphysics at all, contrary to much of the secular context of the times. I am a very firm advocate of metaphysics. But from my point of view, the notion that the Neo-Traditionalists and the Guenonians and their acolytes, various hues and derivatives, are advocating is a reactionary and a completely fallacious concept of time that is not supported by the sacred texts of whether Islam or classical pagan Neoplatonism. This is a conversation that we need to have. It's a conversation that more people need to look at. To recap, to inveigh against time is a form of infidelity towards the Creator, because the Creator is both pre-eternal as well as being post-eternal. And since this is the case, the trajectory and the movement of time, as Plato says, being the moving image of eternity, by itself cannot be the manifestation of the negative. So therefore, the argument of the Neo-Traditionalist school about time and their nostalgia about time is a fallacy. And it's a very dangerous fallacy by virtue of the fact that it lends itself to political interpretation and political ideologies that are right-wing and completely authoritarian. If anybody wants to weigh in on this discussion, I invite them to. I would actually love to have this, like I said, love to have this argument and discussion with more seasoned readers of the writings of Guénon and Evola and Dugan, etc. Because I think these people are getting away with misrepresenting a very, very important facet of traditional metaphysics, which can be read in a multiple of ways and not necessarily in the way that these people have been reading it. And as such, we can very certainly talk about the sacrality of time and the progress and the sacrality of the progress of time, as the Bayan does. So I would like to hear these people's argument regarding this, and see what kind of discussion can unfold from it. I'll leave it here. La hujja ila Ali qabla Muhammad.